Look, I'm going to just tell y'all how it is. I do not feel good right now. So honestly, I did not even feel like making this video. But I simply could not allow this BS to transpire without pointing it out and calling it out. Because these people have gotten really, really bold. The audacity of these folks. Now, you might remember we talked about these secret tunnels underneath the Jewish synagogue in New York City. Well, it was clear early on that they wanted to memory hold this story, no pun intended. They wanted everyone to quickly forget about it. If you mentioned it, if you talked about it at all, random social media accounts would pop up and call you anti-Semitic. They would say you were a bad person. They wanted this story to go away. They didn't even want people to acknowledge how weird and how crazy and how downright kind of funny it was. And quickly, the news just stopped talking about it. Don't get me wrong. You would have articles popping up online, right? Just running confusion stories, running all types of different stories with all types of different excuses. Last time I talked about it a few days ago, they were on excuse number 8. They were claiming that the whole time a group of Mexicans was living within their synagogue, beneath their feet, digging these tunnels as they were at church or whatever they want to call it, as they were worshiping, as they were doing whatever they were doing. These Mexicans were beneath them, burrowing tunnels that their children paid for. It's all really weird and wild. All of their excuses sound more and more unbelievable. But then the story kind of just went away. After all of these leaders spoke out and they just did whatever they could to add to the confusion. With so many different stories and so many different excuses out there, it was hard to tell what was real and what was fake. But all of these different excuses, they were coming from the same source, that source being people within the synagogue. So it was clear that they were doing whatever they could to just confuse people. They were doing whatever they could to cover up what was really happening down there. And, people started getting censored for talking about it. Several posts have been deleted. A lot of stuff has been going on. And now, after they memory hold this story, and after they went radio silent about this situation, even though I reported to you all a few days ago, they've had to evacuate more buildings now because this tunnel has put several buildings at risk of collapsing. But the news doesn't want to talk about it. And now, for the first time in days, the news is talking about it. And I wish I could say I can't believe it, but I do believe it. But the audacity. When I say they have gotten bold, they have gotten bold, y'all. We got videos. We got pictures. We know what was in the tunnels. We don't know what happened in the tunnels, but we know what they look like. We saw them pulling dirty mattresses out of the tunnels. We saw baby carriers, high chairs in the tunnels. And now, this is what US Today is reporting. Only dirt and tools found in New York tunnel. Not mattresses or booster seats. Fact check. Now, some of you all may remember that a few years ago during the lockdowns, on social media, Facebook to be more exact, they started fact checking posts, right? So anytime you would discuss all of the weird stuff that was going on during the lockdowns as the world was shut down and they were trying to pump us with experimental medicines, anyone who talked about it, they would be fact checked on Facebook. They would be fact checked by not real facts, but just government propaganda and lies. And once again, the fact check has proven to be nothing but lies. They ran this article, USA Today ran this article as a fact check against people like me and against other people who have been reporting on this story. They say that we're lying. They're trying to convince the general public that we're all lying about this tunnel situation. Even though there's video evidence, we've all seen it. And they're claiming, no, there were no mattresses. Well, what is this? What is this right here? And for everyone out there who's been trying their best to pretend that there's nothing weird about this story, for everyone out there who have been making excuses, for all the people out there who have been saying there was nothing going on in those tunnels, how do you explain this? How do you explain them openly lying and doing whatever they can to cover up what we saw with our own two eyes? Listen, I am a perfectly reasonable person. And as a reasonable person, I can acknowledge that it's weird when people dig secret tunnels. That's a totally reasonable take. And I've done my best to hear these people out. I have listened to all 8 of their excuses. We've talked about all of their excuses on this channel. Some sounded more believable than others. I've tried to hear them out. Even some of their excuses, I was like, okay, maybe this is true. But when we get to this point, where not only were y'all doing whatever you can to label people as bad people for questioning things, not only is it obvious that this story is not getting the mainstream media coverage that it should, not only the fact that they're not even investigating these tunnels, they just went ahead and filled them up with cement, but now you're out here trying to change history in front of everyone's faces. So, like 10 years from now, let's say 10, 15, 20 years from now, someone wants to do research on this story. When they go to do research, what are they going to see? They're going to see USA Today fact-checking and claiming that there were no mattresses and no child booster seats in the tunnels. And 10 or 15 years from now, these people aren't going to know any better because they weren't witnessing this news story play out in real time. But we're here. We're here today. We've been here yesterday and last week and the week before. We've watched all of this play out. And if you've been subbed to my channel, you've been watching the videos. I've updated it. I've updated you all on everything. I've showed you all them pulling mattresses. I have the videos. The videos are viral. Millions upon millions of people have seen them all across the world. But these mainstream media outlets, they feel so emboldened and powerful. They feel like they have such a grip over people's minds that they can convince you that you didn't see things that you saw with your own two eyes. But let's go forward in this BS article. The claim: old mattresses and booster seats were found in tunnels beneath New York City Synagogue. A January 10th Instagram post shows a screenshot of a post on X by the same user about a tunnel discovered in New York. A synagogue in New York City was discovered to have underground tunnels beneath it. There were old stained mattresses inside, along with booster chairs for young kids. The Instagram post garnered more than 13,000 likes in 2 days. R rating: false. This simply didn't happen. A New York Department of Buildings spokesperson said investigators found nothing in the tunnels besides dirt, tools, and debris. The single passageway was discovered next door to the synagogue. It simply didn't happen. They have the audacity to sit here and say, all of that is false. Everything you're seeing is false. It simply didn't happen. Well, explain this video of them pulling dirty mattresses out of their secret tunnel. Explain this video and these photos of baby high chairs within the tunnel. It's so wild to me that they feel as if they could sit here right now and change history in front of everyone's faces. That they can sit here and just blatantly lie, and that no one is going to say anything about it. And the sad reality is, a lot of people, even though they saw this with their own two eyes, they're so caught up in their personal biases, they're so caught up in wanting to protect these type of people or protect those people, that they will lie to themselves and pretend that they didn't see what they saw. And like I said, I'm a perfectly rational person. You're pulling out dirty mattresses and baby chairs. I don't want my mind to automatically go to worst case scenario, but now that you're going so far as to put out these fake fact-checked news articles to cover up the dirty mattresses, now I really have a problem. Now I really do think those stains were from something pretty sick and sinister. Because we all saw it. So what's the point in lying? And then they say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. What's with all the conspiracies? I'm just noticing things. On video, you notice them pull out the dirty mattresses. And when you look at this article, you notice that they're fact-checking with lies, claiming that this didn't happen. They don't provide any evidence that it didn't happen, although we have all the evidence in the world that we need to show you that it did. But a lot of people don't care about the truth anymore. They want to believe in whatever makes them sleep better at night. So if it makes you sleep better at night, thinking that they didn't find baby chairs and dirty mattresses in the tunnels, well, okay, but guess what? When I go to sleep at night, I go to sleep thinking about the truth. I don't go to sleep in Candyland filled with a bunch of fake fact-checked scenarios. I go to sleep with the weight of all types of truths on my shoulders, knowing that I'm going to wake up the next day and do what I can to spread the truth, while other people are hiding behind fake fact-checked articles for confirmation bias, or to confirm their personal biases, or to make them feel better about themselves. But I don't see how anyone can see this and not be concerned. Because, like I said, they can try to rewrite history, and they can try to confuse future people from understanding what really happened here, but we're here. We've been here. We've been here today, we were here yesterday, we were here last week, and the week before that. You all saw this play out. You all saw the videos. You saw what happened. And now they're trying to tell you that that didn't happen, that you didn't see any of the things that you saw. That's absolutely insane to me, that they feel as if they have that much power. But they kind of do, because a lot of people would just go along with this. But let's go further. No mattresses, booster seats found in tunnel. The New York Department of Buildings issued an emergency work order to stabilize buildings near the Chabad Lubavitch headquarters in Brooklyn following the discovery of an illegal tunnel. Ryan Deegan, a spokesperson for the department, told USA Today in an email that investigators found the tunnel's excavation site to be empty except for dirt, debris from workers, and hand tools like shovels. There are no credible news reports about mattresses or booster seats being discovered in the tunnel. Guys, I am losing my voice right now. And my voice is going to be all the way gone by the end of the night as I scream into an empty void about how crazy our world has gotten and about how stupid the people are that surround me, the majority of them. Luckily, I've grown an audience of open-minded people that can see through a lot of the fake nonsense that the media puts out there. But the reality is we are a small minority. Even the over 100,000 people subscribe to this channel, we are a small minority in a vast ocean of complete idiots. A vast ocean of complete idiots that will deny what they see with their own two eyes in order to believe whatever narrative they are told to believe by daddy government and daddy mainstream media. It's really sad to see. And like I said, I didn't even feel like sitting down and making this video today. I feel like crap right now. I wanted to go to bed, but I couldn't let this slide by. Because if you let this slide by without calling it out, then you allowed them to win. And don't get me wrong, they've already won. There's nothing I can do about it. I can make these videos and hopefully people share these videos and we get the word out. But at the end of the day, that USA Today article is going to be there forever. Forever and ever. And people are going to believe that legitimate journalists with credentials fact-checked it and found it not to be true. Even though we were all here in the moment and we saw it for what it was. So my question is, how many other news stories are they doing this with? If they go so far as to do this with this story about tunnels underneath a synagogue, what other news stories are they doing this with? How much of history is really even real? How much of what's going on right now is really real? By the time you hear the information, they've finger effed it all the way to high hell. They've switched it up. It's like a game of telephone that you play in middle school. You pass down a message, and by the time it gets to the audience, it's misconstrued. Who knows what's real and what's fake in today's world? But I know what is real. No pun intended. What is real is those dirty mattresses they pulled out of the tunnel. And what's fake is the USA Today. Let me know your thoughts, though, about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If you would like to donate to the channel, you can do so via CashApp. I'll have my CashApp in the pinned comment, or you can donate via Super Thanks, or for free, you could share the video, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But with that being said, I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.